Well, I know that you think that this is very unusual, that I'm the one that's introducing Shadow Whispers in the Night. You might think that you're looking at another program, but in actual fact, you are not. Because about a minute and a half ago, Jenny Sullivan, who is here with us, decided that I was going to do the introductions tonight for this very, very special program. So I'm delighted to be here, and I'm joining Jenny Sullivan, who is actually the host of this program. And the one and only,
Back tonight.
yes, she's sitting back tonight. No, she is not, but we're going to deal with that in a few minutes. And the one and only Paul Goddard is joining us tonight as well. And I'm delighted to be here. Now, Jenny, take it away.
Welcome to another Saturday night. Shadow Whispers in the Night. I always get it wrong, and I'm surprised I'm not muted. So this is, as May said, this is a special show because May's going to tell you about it in a second. Take it away, May. Go on, take it away. You go for it.
You know, I'll tell you, being Irish, we can't make a long story short. And we actually have the capacity and the ability to make a short story long, but I'll do my best not to make it too long.
Oh, I like the long ones.
Do you like the long ones, Paul?
I do like the long ones, yes.
Well, actually, I met Paul through Jenny. I was watching a podcast one night of Jenny's, and Paul was on. You were a special guest, Paul. And I don't quite know how we got connected, but we did. And we ended up Zooming each other, the three of us, and we had a great chat. And we were talking about the tours in Ireland. And at that stage, I hadn't done the last tour that I've done. We've just come back from a fantastic tour in Ireland for Halloween. But I was telling Paul about the tours, and of course, Jenny knows about the tours. She's going to be working with us on some of them. And we came up with the great idea of having Paul as an ambassador for the tour. And it is going to be fantastic. People who know Paul, who love Paul, who like Paul, and who don't really like Paul, come with us. We're going to have great fun.
If you don't like me, come along, and hopefully by the end of it you will tolerate me.
We definitely will.
And even if they don't, Paul, it gives them an opportunity to, as we say in Ireland, take the piss.
Yes, absolutely. I'll just be aware if there's any raw eggs anywhere.
Yeah. Well, we won't allow that, because that can get very, very messy. But, yeah, we thought we would do a tour, and it'll be, you know, Paul is a hypnotherapist. A lot of his work is in hypnotherapy. Tell us some more about yourself, Paul, and tell people what they can expect.
Yes, all right, thank you. So, so if people don't know me or haven't seen the other live, I'm a hypnotherapist, a master practitioner of neurolinguistic programming, and I've been given this amazing opportunity to be an ambassador on an Ireland tour. And the idea is to visit some spooky and also ancient sites and try and, through hypnosis, which is optional, tap into the energies. It's only optional. We're going to be visiting some incredibly cool places. I think the thing which I'm totally looking forward to, which I'm looking forward to absolutely everything, is the alpacas, going to see the alpacas, because they're just such wonderful animals, and I'm totally looking forward to that. But I think that there'll be something for everyone. And even if people aren't so much into the paranormal or ancient side of things, there's going to be lots of really good things that it'll whet everybody's appetite. And it's a great way of meeting other people. I'm sure that by the end of it, some people that might have not met before will end up being firm friends and start connecting on Facebook and other different ways. So it's going to be good.
I do agree with that. I know when May was here, what was it, in October?
October, yeah.
I went with May for 3 days, and I was on video call with one of the women that I'd met on May's tour, because we stayed friends. And I'm friends with a few of the women that have been on the tour with May, and we have connected as long friends now. Long friends, I think. Lovely women. So, yes, that's the thing from it.
Yeah, that is the thing. And that's what I love about it as well, because I've been doing this for a long time now. And actually the thrill I get from it is, you know, you watch people coming in. Let's say if a lot of them come in the morning of, a lot of people will come in couple of days beforehand and chill out for a couple of days, especially if they're coming from America because they want to get over the jet lag. Now, if they're coming from England, it's what, about an hour and a half, 2 hours flight.
Yeah.
So they won't have the jet lag problem. But let's say if a group come in into the airport all at once, and I, as the person that's sitting there waiting for them, I'm watching them all come in, and they're not too sure of where they're going, or they're not too sure of themselves, and they're very quiet and they're kind of shy, and they introduce, I'll introduce them to people, and we leave, we go on the bus, everybody is quiet. The following day, there's a little bit, the energy is up a little bit.
Yes.
By day 3, they're beginning to have great fun. And they're hanging off ropes. They've hung out with each other, yeah.
We're hanging off ropes at White Christ Church Cathedral. Church. We were hanging off the ropes. The bells, the church bells, and you can pull the ropes. Yeah. We do that day 2. Was it day 2? I think
it was day 1 actually that day. Yeah, it was. That was a great tour. Yeah, but with the crack we had, and everybody was just having a fantastic time, and then you just see them developing friendships, and you see everybody just hanging out at nighttime or in the evening time, and just having a fantastic time. And then at the end of the tour, you watch them, exchanging phone numbers and exchanging emails, and then when you come back after the tour, you watch the interaction on Facebook, and they're all connected and they're all talking to each other, and they start saying, you can see how they're going to start visiting each other, and it's really, it's fantastic. It's a great,
and you would think,
if you want to meet friends, it's a great way to do it.
Right, and you would think in the first few days that these people have known each other for a long time, of how they get on. It's brilliant. It's great. I wish I could have stayed longer, but I will in the next one.
Yes, you will. You will.
Paul, we're going to be teaching Paul singing Irish singing and Irish dancing, Paul.
Yeah, I'm up for that. It's good exercise, Irish dancing.
On the table, but a wee potching.
What potting?
Potching.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what that is?
I think remind me what it is, because it's
a highly illegal substance. It's kind of like moonshine in America.
Right, okay.
And it's made from either potatoes or fermented barley. Now, my father, God rest his soul, I'm telling tales now, but there's nobody alive now that can do anything about it. He used to make pudding, and I'll tell you a story about it. We had a shed out the back, and normally he used to make the pudding in the shed. Now, it meant that you had a barrel, you had a fire under the barrel, you had a worm, one of these copper wires, right? And in order for the pudding to be good, it had to drip at a particular pace. If it went too fast, it was bad. If it went too slow, it was bad. But anyhow, this particular time, he decided that he was going to set up the still in the back kitchen of our house. So you've got the back kitchen, you've got a door, then you've got the kitchen. And we always, in our houses at home, and I'm sure to this day in Ireland, you've got open fireplaces. And you'd always have a fireplace or a range in the kitchen. Well, we had an open fireplace. So we had a big long hall, and the still was going, and if it's well run and if it's at a particular pace, you will not smell the pudding. Anyway, a knock comes to the front door. I go down, I open the door, and there's a Garda standing outside the door. Now, that's an Irish police officer. When I tell you I nearly passed out, I thought, oh my God, my father's going to be dragged away and put into jail. Is your father there? And I said, I don't know. He might be out the back. Hold on and I'll see. Now, to be honest with you, the length of that hall must have trebled, because I didn't think I'd ever get to the kitchen in time. And I said to my father, I said, oh, Daddy, what will we do? There's a guard out the front door. Bring him in, he said.
Okay.
I said, are you joking me? Bring him in. Are you joking me? And he says, bring him in. It's all right. Bring him in. Oh, I could have hit the man, I swear. I go down. I bring the guard in. Now, I'm expecting them to pull up. To me, somebody had reported us, and the guards are there to take my father away.
Holy shit.
That's the way. That's what I thought. So anyhow, he comes and he's in his full uniform. The whole works.
I think I know what he was doing. I think I know what you're gonna say.
Anyway, he comes in. He sits down. My father's sitting one side of the fireplace. This guard is sitting the other. They obviously knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I still saw him as a guard, a police officer.
Yeah.
And then my father looked at me and he says, make a cup of tea for the man. Oh, Jesus. That meant that I had to open that door and I had to go out to the back kitchen.
Okay.
I was absolutely in total panic mode. I did not know what to do. Anyhow, I go out, I close the door, I'm making the tea. I'm nearly crying. I'm so worked up over this. I go back and there the two of them drinking punching.
Oh, I told you. I knew it.
He was there to employ my father to supervise the building of his house. That's what he was there for.
Wow. And drinking punching.
So that's the story about the punching, Paul.
Well, it reminds me of somebody who used to live in a village, and they were saying that the local pub they live in, this is going back quite a few years now, they used to have lock-ins, so it was at 11 o'clock when it used to all, that was it, you couldn't serve any alcohol anymore.
Yeah.
And then there was a knock at the door, and a police officer came in, and they thought, we're all going to be in trouble, and the pub's going to be closed down. It's like, all right, Tom, your usual, and pint is poured for the police.
The lock-ins.
Oh, yeah.
The lock-ins. Gosh, we've had many lock-ins here.
Yeah.
Many lock-ins. Oh my gosh, it's daylight going home. I used to work in a nightclub, and we'd have a lock-in. After cleaning up and whatnot, and we'd have a lock-in and play poker and whatnot, and daylight going home. Yeah. I know, but I don't know if they still do lock-ins or not, do they? It's been so long since I've been at the pub, up past probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm home.
Well, when I was in Guernsey, this is when I was 30, so just over, 10 years ago now, over 10 years ago, there was kind of like a lock-in because we stayed in a hotel and got incredibly well with the people that run it. And they used to have a lock-in, but it was absolutely fine because it was a landlord that was buying us the drinks. So as long as you're not buying it yourself, it's completely fine. So he would come say, come in and open up the door. Yeah. So it's fine. So we used to have legal lock-ins.
I love it. And wait until you come to Ireland. Now, have you you've been to Ireland before, Paul, have you?
I was a schoolboy when I was there last, but yes, I have been over to Ireland.
So yeah, obviously haven't tried the Irish Guinness.
No, I haven't, but I've heard it tastes quite different to the Guinness you get over in the pubs here.
Like the nectar of the gods, I can tell you that. It is beautiful. It's creamy. It's thick. It's beautiful. And I know some people put lime into it or blackcurrant into it. Blasphemy. Do not do that.
No, I don't.
As it is. And I know each to their own of their tastes, but a nice pint of Guinness and a second one, and you're everybody's friend. You're everybody's friend. Trust and believe. I've tried it. So Irish whiskey, have you tried that yet?
Only in English pubs, and it tends to be like Jameson's sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, I did get some obscure stuff some time ago. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure I have some good recommendations anyway.
Glenfiddich, I think that's one. Glenfiddich and Slane whiskey is one of my favorites. Slane whiskey. There's a Scottish outlaw. I have Irish blood and ancestors, but I've never visited Ireland yet. Now
there you go.
Absolutely.
You have to come with Paul and Jenny on the tour.
So we're gonna explain what is happening in 2025. So maybe if you want to take it away and explain why we're here tonight.
Yeah. Can we share a screen and we can go through the itinerary?
Yep.
And for anyone who might want to join us. it'll be a perfect tour. You know, it's not one of these massive, busy tours that have all these evening events and we're running around like lunatics. It's kind of more of a relaxed tour.
Yeah.
So if I
Can
can,
you do from your side?
what do I see now?
Okay, so if you go
What's
down,
happening? Can you see anything there now?
Should be present, is it? Is that what it is? You press present.
yeah, I should be able to.
Oh, hold on a second now.
Am I putting it up?
Video file. No, share screen.
If you
Is
have
that
it, yeah. If you have it, use it. Say present and share screen. So you
Yes.
go ahead with that one. You do that.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we're good, May. We're good. I'm going to add it
So,
to stage.
so this is the name of the tour for anyone who wants to look it up. Unveiling the Ancient Mysteries of Irish Ghosts and Legends with Paul Goddard. The date is July the 15th to the 23rd, 2025. So you've got what? They've got 8 months? 8? Yeah,
Mhm.
8 months.
And
So, you know, with saying that, if people wanted to jump on and get their place secured, and then they could do a 6 months installment plan if they wanted to, because
That'd be good.
well, yeah, we don't. They wouldn't have a 6 month, but they'd have a 5 month one, 4 or 5 month one, and that might help people. You know, some people like installment plans, some people don't, but we have it in pounds. Because I'm presuming, I might not be right, Paul, but I would be presuming that a lot of the people that know you that want to travel and hang out, you might be English, might be Scottish, Welsh.
Yeah,
I don't know, but some people might. I know that there's a couple of people from the States that are thinking about joining as well. But what I will explain there is, even though it's in pounds, let's say you click book now, you see that you're booking.
Mm-hmm.
You can use dollars, or you can use euro or GP. You know, you can change the currency to whatever currency you're using, and it'll show you how much it is in your currency. So there's double room. There's an option for double room, twin room, or single occupancy. Double room would be for a couple who want a room but one double bed. A twin room would be for two people who want to share a room but don't want to share a bed. And single occupancy is for a person who does not want to share. Now, people will ask, why is it more expensive for single occupancy? Hotels in Ireland sell their rooms for two people. And if I'm getting a room for one person, they will charge me a supplement. So that's just to explain why that is the way it is. So if you scroll down, you've got information about the trip, information about Paul, information about Jenny. The terms and conditions, I would ask everybody to please read them so that you know what our policy is, and you either agree with it or you don't. And if you don't, sure, you know, you don't have to come with us. But just to let people know, because some people might like to be on the go from 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 or 11 or 12 at night, but the majority of people don't. So we have a strict maximum 9-hour day policy. So anyhow, what's included in your price? All of that's included. You can read it yourselves when you click on. I'll be explaining to you how to get to this page in a few minutes and what's not included. So you can book there then. So our itinerary, day one, we are going to Powerscourt House and Gardens. It's about an hour south of Dublin, and it really is a fantastic place to visit. Have you been there, Jenny?
I have been.
I mean, the gardens are amazing. You could spend all day long in this place.
I was there on a school tour, so we never. So I haven't been since, even though it's probably only down the road from me, and it is, but I haven't been since.
Oh, it's amazing. There's beautiful gardens in it. There's a Japanese garden. There's a pond. There's walks. It's an amazing place. There's a butterfly garden. It's really a beautiful place. You could spend hours just hanging out there. They have a beautiful coffee shop as well there, and they have a fantastic avoca shop there with you can see people weaving and and there's a distillery not too far away from there, Powers Court Distillery as well. I think it's on the grounds, and then we go further south to a place called Glendalough. Now Glendalough dates back very, very, I mean, it dates back. This is a monastic site.
1100, I think, but I'm going to.
The 12th century at least, and even more. It dates back to 4th or 5th century, really. You know, the very, very early Christians. And St. Kevin's, it's the 6th century actually, and St. Kevin was the founder of it. And this actually, Glendalough was the ecclesiastical centre of Europe at one stage. It's very hard to believe, but people came from all over Europe to learn from the monks in Glendalough. And there's Round Tower there. There's some ruins of churches and abbeys that were there. There's a graveyard there, a very old graveyard, and a kind of a more modern one. But again, the scenery on the way up, the scenery there, and the place itself is an amazing place. And it would be interesting to do some of the stuff that you talk about, Paul, in one of these places.
That would be something to see.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
And we actually have a surprise that day as well. We're going to have another very special place on that day. It's a secret. Now, you see this picture that's in front of me there. That is McDermott's Castle. It's an 11th century castle on Lough Key in County Roscommon. It's just outside the town of Boyle. I lived about 5 miles from that place before I moved to America. It's a beautiful place. You can't go on the island now, but on our way from Dublin, we're going to be going to the northwest. So on our way from Dublin, our first stop will be Belvedere House. Very interesting house, very, very well kept house. There's what's called a jealous wall there. The story about Belvedere is that there was a guy by the name of Robert Rochford who owned the house. He was actually the Lord Belvedere. He married a young girl from Dublin. She was a socialite, Mary. I can't remember her name. Molesworth. Mary Molesworth was her name, and he married her. He brought her down to Mullingar, which is about an hour and a half from Dublin.
Yeah.
And he had this beautiful house, amazing house. She had 4 children. And he lost interest in her very quick. And he decided that he wanted to continue his lifestyle as he liked. And he'd be in Dublin, and he'd be in England, and he'd be in London. And she was on her own quite a lot. She was very close with his younger brother, Arthur, and the wife. And she used to go visiting them on a regular basis because she had nobody else, really. She didn't know any of the locals. She was taken out of her society lifestyle. And anyway, there was another brother called George. And George, for some reason, did not like Mary. And he created this rumor that she was having an affair with Arthur. And he made sure that he got to the ears of Robert. So when Robert came home one day, he took her and he locked her in a room. And she was locked away from all human contact for 30 years.
Wow.
He took her children. The servants they were allowed leave her whatever she needed, like food or clothes or whatever it was. Right. But she literally she couldn't talk to anyone for 30 years.
That's correct. That's just.
And he was a very jealous kind of a person. So his brother, Robert, owned the Belvedere house. And he decided George had a big mansion down the valley, and it could be seen from the house.
Excuse me.
So he didn't want his guests to be able to see his brother's mansion. So he built this massive jealous wall. And it's still there to this day. But that house is definitely haunted. And Samantha from Charleville. She's a tour. She works in Charleville Castle. Her mother was the tour guide when I used to bring people there. So Samantha has agreed to be there whenever you guys are going to be there.
Brilliant.
She can tell us all the stories about the ghosts. And if anybody is into investigating, they might be able to take some of their equipment with them and they might be able to pick something up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then, as I said, we're going to be coming down to the northwest. So we'll visit the Forest Park. And from the shore, you'll be able to see that castle.
Listen, Paul, you're going to have to hold me back by the neck because I'm going to swim across that water and get onto that land.
Well, I might be swimming across with you.
Yeah.
We'll have a swimming ring around my waist and armbands, and we are going for it. We're going over to
Actually,
that.
maybe we could find some canoes or something.
There are boats, and you can take a trip around it, but you can't go onto the land because it's 11th century, guys. It's not that safe. But there's great stories about MacDiarmid. He was a high king, and he owned all of Rockingham, all the land around it, and he had this daughter called Una Vaughan. Now, Vaughan is the Irish for white, but she had blonde hair. There's no Irish for blonde. We, I suppose, would be the Irish for blonde. Yellow. We. So, anyway, she was in love with a man who his estate is about 5 miles from my home place at home in Gurchin. He's called Tomás Lorger O'Custula, or Big Tom Costello. And she was very much in love with this guy, and they were gentry people as well. I mean, they were of statute, if you know what I mean. They had a ranking, and they had money and they had land and everything, but they lost. He went off to the war in France, and they lost some of their lands.
Okay.
So MacDiarmid decided that he did not want his daughter mixing with Tomás Lorger anymore. So he banned Tomás from the island, and he said that he can't come in to see his daughter anymore. So she, in her heartbreak, she decided to leave the island, and she kind of went to another island called Abbey Island. And Abbey Island was an island that was full of monks. They had a monastery there. And she went and she stayed with them, and she ended up dying of a broken heart, and they buried her. So when he came back from the war, he found out that she was in this island. He swam, talking about swimming, he swam out to the island, and he found out that she had died.
Oh, Jesus.
And he lay on her grave for days and days on end, and he died of pneumonia. And they buried him beside her, and 2 trees grew from the 2 graves. And
myself and May were talking last night, and I had written down something last night. We were talking for like 10 minutes, which turned into 3 hours, and I had written something down last night, and I said to May, if you're going to do this, I'm going to show what I've written down. And and it says, blame May.
I can't see that. Can you make it bigger?
Okay. Blame May for always making me cry on video calls, video chat. I had written that down. I don't know if you can see that properly. Blame me for always making me cry on our video chats. So now with that story, and I'm holding it together. And I said, if you're going to do it, I'm going to put it up.
But Jenny, this happened in the 11th century. Don't worry about it.
It's not me. Heart feels what the heart feels, and like, come on, you gotta stop that crack now.
Oh Jesus! But anyhow, when we've done our walks and I've shown you all, there's wishing chairs there. There's my magic tree. Now this place, I have to tell the audience.
I'm going to show you very quickly. I think it's Trevor or Tara. Fionn is Irish for blonde.
Oh really?
Fionn is Irish for blonde.
Okay. I didn't know that because I didn't think there was an Irish word for blonde.
You go now.
There you go. I've learned something. But but anyway, this place I used to walk my dogs on the park. There's a beautiful forest park on the mainland, and I used to walk my dogs every single day over there. So I had this place to myself for years until they kind of commercialized it. But it is a beautiful place. There's a beautiful, I call it my magic tree. So you can walk into it and you can see all the roots. It's really amazing. But then when we leave there, we're going to be going through Boyle because we're going to be staying in a place called Tubbercurry in South Sligo. And we're going to visit Boyle Abbey. It's a 12th century Cistercian abbey. Now, it's an absolutely unbelievably rich in history. There's so many stone carvings. I mean, it's a ruin, but you walk in there and you can see the magnificence that it once was. And the history of the place is just amazing. And I've got friends there that are tour guides, and they will bring us around and give us a talk on the whole place. It's an amazing place. It's so rich with history. But that's your second day.
It's a lot, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
these beautiful locations and the history of them, it's a lot beautifully. It's a lot.
I mean, yeah, it's, when you realize that you're looking at a building that has lasted, I know it's a ruin, but it's still standing. And you walk in, let's say, to Boyle Abbey or Belvedere House for that matter. Belvedere House, it dates back to the 15th century or the 16th century. And it's in perfect condition. I mean, they really have looked after it. The government have looked after it well. But you can kind of imagine, it's fun to kind of imagine how they lived during those times.
Yeah.
And also, if we did do some hypnosis around this, it'd be interesting to see if people come up with the same things they see after.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll just be very interesting. And I mean, Boyle Abbey would be one place. The Forest Park would absolutely be, and then like a little investigation in Belvedere House would be fantastic.
Listen, you're speaking my language now.
Now, day 3. Here we go, ancient sites. We're going to take the first place we're going to stop at is Carramore Tombs. Now, Carramore, Sligo itself, it's in the northwest. Sligo is one of the most populated places for archaeological sites in Ireland.
And you know what? Let me just say one thing as well. Sligo in the west of Ireland is mostly known for, I'm going to say UFOs.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that I'll talk about that too. And it's all connected with this place that we're looking at here. This is Carramore Tombs. And it dates back, it's about 600 years old. It dates way, way, way older than the pyramids of Egypt. And this is Sligo. This is just outside Sligo town. This is near Strandhill, near the beach. And if you were to go directly, what would it be? South, you would come to Carrowkeel underground passage tomb. And Carrowkeel, I would have lived, as the crow flies, I'd have probably lived about 6 miles from it.
Oh, love.
Top on the Brickleaf Mountains. Again, you nearly need to be with a local to know where it is.
Right.
But there's ley lines on it, but there's 14 of these cairns along the mountain. And it's amazing. At a certain time of the year, the summer solstice, there's a cairn there, and you've got the little space between the top of the entrance.
Right.
You've got that lip there, where the sun will come up on the 21st of June, up over the mountains, and it'll shine in there, and it'll light up the inner chambers. Now, you can crawl into the chambers, and once you crawl in, you can stand up.
Right.
And there's a main chamber, and there's 3 chambers off it.
Can you still do that? Can you still?
You can. I've done it. I've done it on numerous occasions. And
I'll get stuck. Are they wide enough? Because I'll get stuck.
Yeah, I mean, they are wide enough. Yeah.
It's going to have to be a chain.
It doesn't look. If you were claustrophobic, you might not like to do it, but you could slide in and stand up. There's any amount of space once you get in there.
That's grand, because there'll be a chain link of people holding onto my ankles and pulling me out because I'm red.
I've got a friend who's a second generation dowser, and she knows all about ley lines, different grids and earth energies. So I'll have to ask her what people could look out for, particularly people along their dowsing rods or pendulums as well.
Well, not but with Carrow Keel, again, Boyle Abbey is about the town of Boyle would be about 7 miles from Carrow Keel. And when I lived there in Cornacartha was the name of the place. It's about, as I said, 6 miles as the crow flies from Carrow Keel. And when I lived there was an old woman in the town of Boyle, and people would laugh at her because she would swear black and blue that UFOs used to hover over Carrow Keel.
Right.
And she was convinced, and she would tell people that it happened. But anyway, this German guy came over and he hung out with her for a while. And they reckon, now I don't know how true this is, but in the end, he did such a study on it that he could predict when they were coming.
Oh, that's amazing.
You get people like that.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I remember one time, my middle son, he was walking back from a friend's house. Now, when I say we lived in the country, we lived in the middle of nowhere. There was no street lights. It was the light of the moon and the stars, and that was it. You didn't have any light pollution at all, because you'd only houses, not even beside each other. There were they'd be about half a mile to a mile away from each other. But the two boys, my son and his friend, came into the house one night, and I looked at them and I said, Jesus, what happened to you? Did you see a ghost? And they looked at each other, and they looked at me, and Seamus said to me, he says, well, we don't really know what we saw. And so my interest kind of perked up, and I says, what do you mean?
Aye.
And he says, well, we're walking down the road, ma'am, and he said, this light appears in the sky, and he says, it is a very bright light, and it is moving through the sky very, very fast. And it says it went back and forth, and it was like, and there was no noise. And it was zigzagging across the sky. And he says, then it stopped. And it just hovered there. And all of a sudden, it split in three. And the three lights just went up.
That's
says,
so
but there was no sound. He says,
that's
so we don't
them to split into threes.
Yeah.
Paul, you've seen it yourself. They split into three. It's phenomenal. And I now on there's a lot of talk coming out now about they're going to say what's really happening. And like I was in the show last night with Willow's show last night, and I'm like, say it already, because we know. Say it already. We know. Hi, Sarah. Sarah's watching.
One of my clients, I don't know if I shared it with you, Jenny. One of my clients witnessed a UFO, so I'll have to share. They videoed it. I'll have to share it with you. They actually had a much closer encounter with it, but when it was closer, the camera just stopped working on his phone.
Oh wow!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
that's just it's crazy. And do you know what? There was a video that came out when I was younger. I had seen 3 things, and I've said it for many years on any show I've been on. We were talking about UFOs and so on and so on. I've always talked about these things that I've seen, and I could talk about it as if it was yesterday. And I always described them as they went into like a round and into a tail, and there was smoky grey. And I remember Chris is watching now. I remember I was telling Chris about this on one of his shows, and I said they kept kind of going in and out of the sky. There was 2 on one side, 1 on this side, and they kept going up and down, and as if they were swimming. And one shot down through the hedge, went through it, and went back up into the sky so fast that when it came down, it would have been about 15 foot tall, if not more. Because it was just, I know it sounds like, Jenny, you're watching TV. Did you have a nightmare? There was about 15 people watching this. And then last week, I was in bed watching a video. I think it's not too old. It's about a year or 2 years old. And there was a news reporters in their studio, looking at the night skylines of the city and so on. Then these things happened in the sky, and I'm like, I mailed Chris and I made Louise at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, you might not be awake, but oh my God. And these things that were seen on the news, picked up by fluke. And I said, that's what I saw at my house.
There you go. Yeah.
Exactly what I saw. And I'm like, what the F? I've never seen it. My description, I've never seen it on video. And these moved exactly the same way. And you know what? It's so real that I get emotional over it because I seen what I saw.
Yeah.
Is that really where people think, Jenny, you can't do watching movies? Like, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I seen that. I'm not going crazy. My sisters and I don't speak to half the people now because I was only a child at the time. They would not remember it. I have a memory like an elephant. They would not remember any of that, but I remember it. I have one of these memories that, I
Yeah,
couldn't
but if you see something like that, Jenny, you don't forget it very quickly.
Totally. I couldn't tell you what I did yesterday, but I remember this, and I was about 15 years of age when I seen it. I'm not going to tell you what age I am now, but I'm older than what I was then. And I saw this, and I was like, bleep, 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 and bleep. And I text Chris and Louise at 3 a.m. in the morning about it because it was just. It was.
Yeah, I think there's definitely with these like this Karen here that we're looking at here. I definitely think that there's some sort of an energy that's coming off them. I mean, for instance, if you look at that picture there, and you can see the square and you can see a stone. Well, that's a dolmen. You can't see it very clearly from there, but it's actually a dolmen.
Yeah.
And the sun will come again summer solstice. It'll come from the mountains that's facing that dolmen, and the sun will light that chamber. Imagine that that's closed. It'll light that chamber, and they have a picture of what the sun does with those stones. It actually makes it look golden.
Oh, beautiful.
It's amazing. It really is. It's amazing. And the funny thing about it is the Carrowkeel, all of the cairns that's up on the Brickleaf Mountains, there's about 14 of them. And they reckon that at a particular time of the year, it mirrors what's happening in the sky.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
They knew their stuff, didn't they?
Oh, boy. They knew their stuff. Absolutely. They did know their stuff.
They really did.
And I have a funny feeling an awful lot of these cairns might be on ley lines. And I would believe that UFOs, there'd be attracted to them, or there'd be a reason for them to come there.
Well, even Newgrange, which is about 12 minutes away from me, Newgrange.
Yeah.
12 minutes away from me. What a beautiful place. And I've been out to it, of course, And it's just, there was so much time when I went out to it, and the weather was just majestic, and people were kind of, listening, and we couldn't get into the tomb at that time. But I walked around it by myself just to get away from about 20 people and just touch the stones as you do, and touch the stones, and it's beautiful. And I know when I was younger and I was on a show, I think it was Coffee and UFO Talk, and it opened up my mind to my memories of what I seen when I was younger. And I said I was in a bunk bed sharing a room with my sisters, and I never wanted to look out the window because I knew they would see me looking out, and I knew they would know I'm looking out. And I'm like, what was wrong with me as a child? Why would I think something like that? I'm different. And I was like, well, why would I think something like that as a young child, even before 10 years of age? If I looked at the window and I didn't want to stare into the night light, because they knew I am looking. And that basically what I used to say is like, I know they see me, and they know that I see them, and we both know that we see each other. And I was pre-teens at this stage. And then when and as I got older, then my blood type is Rhesus-O negative.
So is mine.
You see, and so therefore, are we, do we know stuff that?
Of course we do.
I don't know.
We don't come from this earth at all, Jenny. We come from way, way, way beyond.
right? Completely, that we are kind of nanu kind of saying.
Nanu. But anyhow, that's the Carramore tombs, and on that site there's a stone circle, and there's dolmens, and then you can look up and you see Knocknarea with Queen Maeve's grave on it, which is another big massive cairn. It has never been excavated.
Oh,
I reckon that Queen Maeve is there, but there's kind of discussions about that. Some people say that somebody else, another High King, is there. But that would be Carramore. Then we'll go down, and we might have or you guys will have a nice, beautiful walk on Ross's Point Beach. And there's another place, Paul, that you could do some hypnosis or past life regression, because that would be interesting to see if water would bring anything to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also a very calming place, and just being somewhere like that,
It is.
People are going to be more in tune, and their pulse will slow down in a very good way, and start to relax and be already on the stepping stone of going into hypnotic state. So yeah, that sounds wonderful. It's
you know, as opposed to Strandhill, Ross's Point is one of these really relaxing beaches. Strandhill is a wilder beach, for want of a better word. It's actually a dangerous beach. We lost, in our village, we lost 3 young boys to 3 teenagers one day, nearly 4. We very nearly lost the 4th, but it was a bad tragedy. People have lost their lives because there's undercurrents, and it's dangerous in Strandhill. But Ross's Point is one of these beautiful golden beaches, and it's just such a relaxing place to go. And then we're going to take you out to, it is the most rugged, most beautiful place, I think, in the Northwest. It's called the Glenif Horseshoe Drive. It's actually the very back of Ben Bulben, which is an iconic mountain in Sligo. It's
you climbed it.
Say that again, Jenny?
You climbed it.
No, I climbed Knocknarea, where Queen Maeve's.
Oh, right. Oh, no, I know it, Ben Bulben. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, but the back of it is stunning. It's so rugged and untouched and wild. It's amazing. And again, it'll be a great place to stop and chill and look. And you'd never know what would come out of that either. So that's.
You'll be sitting around making daisy chains and come by yarn, and we're going to be. I need this. I need this. I need this, Tara. I need this so bad.
Yeah, it's a, you know, that's Sligo. I mean, you could actually, to be honest with you, you could spend a month in, let's say, the northwest of Ireland. You could easily spend a month and not cover it all these amazing places. You know, the south is another place in Ireland. You could spend a month easily and you wouldn't cover it all. And the east is the same, the ancient east, and the north is the same. But
Mayo and the west of Ireland.
Mayo is gorgeous, yeah, and Connemara and Galway is gorgeous as well.
We holiday in Blacksod Bay.
Yes,
at the beautiful Ireland. I just want to give out very quickly here, Pat. Sorry, have you investigated Leap Castle many times?
We were actually there. We investigated it there in October as well with the group from America and Dave Schrader. So we had a good time there as well.
It is I tell you now, I've been investigating the place about 6 years now, and it does exactly what it says in the tin.
Yeah,
it is my favorite place. One of my favorite places, between that and Millmount, one of my favorite places to go to. I'm going to do a quick call out here now because I'm looking at the comments here, and we'll continue on. Yes, May, we have lost the knowledge of the power of the ley lines. Iron Fire is saying hi, May, Jenny, and Paul. Hello, Iron Fire, love him. Lawrence had said walked up to the Queen Maeve's grave years ago.
Yeah.
And then we have I spent a lot of time in Sligo back in the early 90s. Love that part of the country.
Good man.
Lawrence is back over in Ireland for Christmas. Lawrence, if we can, myself, yourself, and Louise would love to meet up if you get a little snippet of your time. love to take you to the Millmet Museum, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
meet up and have a coffee. Hopefully that we can do that. Anyway, sorry, May, continue.
So day 4, I think everybody is going to absolutely love this. We're bringing you out to Green Hills Farm. It's called Pat and Evelyn Noon's farm. It's actually a fairy farm. You see where he's standing there? That's another cairn. That's about 5,000 years old, and it has not been investigated, or not excavated, I mean. He's got standing stones, he's got a fertility stone, he's got a fairy portal, and he's got a fairy fort on his farm. Absolutely magical place altogether. And a lot of the group that came with me had experiences. Patty Negri, who came with me a few years ago, had fantastic experiences on that farm. He's also a healer, and he's an active farmer, and he's a great man for the history of the locality and of his farm. So he really makes you feel at home. It's a fantastic place to visit. And then we're going to bring people into Galway City for them to do a little bit of shopping and exploring in Galway for that day.
Galway,
I think you're going to really enjoy Pat's fair.
Sorry, May, is this where the alpacas are now for Paul?
No. This is just the fairy farm. This is the fairy fort.
Okay.
We can just see alpacas in the corner. They're on day 7. They're looking in at us right now.
So Pat Noon's fairy farm. Are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at? Can you see a man on a hill?
Yes, we're looking at that. Yeah.
Paul's eyes have been dragged over to the alpacas.
Yeah. So
day 7.
Then we're going to go into Galway. There might be a secret location there as well before we hit Galway City. So day 5, this place, I think, Paul, you're going to, and the gang that come with us is going to absolutely love this day. It really is a scenic day. We're going to go on a coastal drive, Mullaghmore Coastal Drive, where we're going to see Classybone Castle, but the scenery is absolutely breathtaking. And again, it'll be one of these very relaxing days. And then we're going to go up to Donegal, up to Slieve League. They're the highest cliffs in Europe.
Yeah.
And they're stunningly, breathtakingly beautiful. And again, it'll be a great place to do some hypnosis as well. On the way back down, we'll stop. You'll get a while to stop and have something to eat in Donegal, and maybe take an hour to just explore Donegal. Maybe 2 hours altogether in Donegal. There's a lovely castle there if people wanted to see it. There's the ruins of a beautiful abbey there as well. But there's some nice little gift shops and things like that in Donegal town, and there's some lovely restaurants. So it'll give people a chance to have something to eat and relax. And then on the way back down, just outside a place called Cliffany in Sligo, North Sligo, there's a court tomb, Creevakeel Court Tomb. But on the way into the court tomb, and this again dates back about 5,000 years. I mean, you're really walking on ancient land. And on the way in, there's a wishing tree. So if people want to take a little garment, a little piece of material with them, or a thread or something, they can tie it on the tree and make a wish, and it'll take it up to the cosmos, and your wish, they reckon, will be granted.
I am definitely going to be doing that, and if anybody feels silly about doing that, I'm going to be doing it. So yeah.
You see, the tree is full of little pieces of material. People do it all the time.
I do it, yeah. There's a place
all the time. It's a common thing in Ireland, Paul. One of these wishing trees, yeah. And funny enough, you usually find them near a holy well or some Christian site. Yeah.
Up in Shane's, not Shane's, up in County Antrim, where I used to go all the time, and there was this healing tree.
Yeah.
So I had fractured my foot, and I got some material, took my cast off. It was a boot, and kind of wet the cloth.
Yeah.
Wiped my foot with it, and not wiped, rubbed it around my foot and whatnot, and then hung it on the tree.
Yeah.
for my foot to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was obviously it did heal. Well, yeah, it did heal eventually. It did.
Well, it's funny, like the Irish still, you know, we're still very, very close to the land, and we're still very we believe a lot of what would the word be?
Folklore,
Folklore and things like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not so unreal to us. It's not so unusual to us. You know, like America, you'd probably never get a wishing tree, whereas it's a common thing. It's a common thing in Ireland. You know, we'd have a pish. What's it, the English for pish roads? Oh, superstitions. We'd have superstitions like about the fairies, like New Year's Eve. We always threw the tea leaves out of the teapot out the back door to the fairies.
And you open the back door and front door, and you walk in the back door.
You did.
And walk in the front door with a piece of coal.
Yeah, or you or you know, Samhain. You'd always
tea, water, salt, and a candle, so you can feed them, water them, and light a light to let them guide the way. The path.
Because you know, I don't know whether the young people.
Yeah, I still do.
I don't know if the young people are being told any of these things now, but we did. We believe them.
We remember it. And I know it's another tradition that is very. And if you don't do it, you'll be cursed. Paul, anyone who new comes into the country has to buy the first round.
Right. Okay.
Paul, you're caught.
Find the Guinness, please.
Right. Okay.
So that's day 5. Day 6. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Day 6, we are going down to Connemara, but we're going to Mayo first. We're first of all going to visit Westport House. Now, Westport House is said to have been built on the old site of Grania Whale's house or castle. Grania Whale would have been Grania Whale, Grace O'Malley. Grace O'Malley, she was a pirate. She was a pirate queen. And she was a very, very famous pirate queen. But she there's dungeons in Westport House. And you might be able to, we might talk them in. They let me into the dungeons before in Patty Negri. So we might be able to organize it that you can get into the dungeons and maybe do an investigation there.
Okay.
And then we go down to this beautiful, beautiful building, Kylemore Abbey. Now it's run by the Benedictine nuns now, but actually there was an English connection and there was a Cincinnati connection. It was owned probably 300 or 400 years ago by the Brown family of England. I think there were newspaper people, but he loved his wife so much he built this as a holiday home. Now, when I tell you it's in the most beautiful part of the country, the drive to this place is beautiful. And this house is so well maintained and so well looked after. It became a convent for a while.
Wow.
And there is actually a school. They're associated with Notre Dame in Ohio. Notre Dame has some link to it, and there is classes there. And it's a lot of American students that go there for so long. I don't understand the whole link. But then there's a Victorian walled garden as well, and it's beautiful. There's also a walk. If you walk past that building and you walk down the road a bit, there's a big, massive wishing stone. And you have to stand in front of the stone with your back to it. And if you can throw 3 small stones over this stone, your wish is granted.
Well, now there'll be a stone throwing competition going on.
Brilliant. But that's day 6. Here we go. This is going to be a great day.
I foresee Paul with a cowboy hat on him with stirrups on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just might end up taking one home with me.
Aren't they the most beautiful little animals? Well, they're not little animals. And then we're going to go to the alpaca farm, and then down the road from it, there is a guy who has sheep and he has some dogs, and we'll watch them work.
May I tell you, if they have a litter of pups, I'm taking a few home with me.
Oh, it's amazing to watch these dogs work. He really is good with his dogs and his sheep. And then you can go into Sligo town, you can do a little bit of shopping.
And you know what?
And actually, during that stay, you'll be staying in Cawley's and Tubbercurry and possibly Murphy's and Tubbercurry. There's just 2 hotels 2 minutes apart from each other. And I'll organise maybe 1 or 2 traditional music sessions as well for you guys in the bar. And my son and some of my friends will come down and entertain you. And Teresa will actually, I get Teresa to teach all the gang how to pull a proper pint of Guinness.
And Irish dance.
And she'll teach you to do shoe the donkey and a few dances. Yes.
Did you say the donkey?
Say that again?
Did you say chew the donkey?
Shoe the donkey. It's a dance. It's a very good dance. Yeah. It's a very simple dance to learn. So we do teach, myself and Teresa do get the people up and get them out dancing, and I'll teach them how to do it, and then the whole lot of us will do it together. And it can be quite funny, you know, because the music will get a little bit faster, and it entails people going one way and then turning and going another. But the problem is when the music gets a little bit faster and you're not really sure what you're doing, some people bump into each other. So it can be very funny.
That would be me. Anyway, I'm going to give a quick call out to a few people here very quickly. A little wee pause, call out. The dog's snoring in the background. Iron Fire saying, in Canada, we have just trees covered in shoes and boots. It's the hiking, I think, waste of shoes and kills the trees. Chris is saying the scenery is beautiful, isn't it? I think that was from the last one. Laura's saying my parents still throw out the cold tea out the back door. I think this is Tara. Is this Tara? No, it's Trevor. Colmore Abbey is a lovely spot. Tara and I visited there when we were up in Connemara.
Stunning. It's beautiful.
I've never heard of the Pirate Queen. Yeah, I've heard about her before. I love the wall gardens and looking forward to that. Pat is saying that would be a good place to do a place memory hypnosis.
Yes, it would actually. It would. You know, as you're going around, Paul, you'll be able to discern what's a good place and what's not.
Yes, absolutely. And there'll be other energies that I'll be tapping into as well. Yes. And if there's healing places to build on upon that, to keep it mixed up, so it constantly changes rather than me just doing the same thing all the time.
Exactly.
You'll know when you get there, you'll feel it, you'll know
yes
what you're doing. Chris is saying here, that's this strange llamas that spit at you. What if you get too close to me? I'm going to spit at you as well if you get too close.
I have my dark glass. I'll have my dark glasses on, so I'll be okay for the eyes anyway.
Don't annoy them because they do spit.
I remember going to Tato Park, and I had taken my little chihuahua with me, Hope. And I say little, she's not that little, and she was in her bag, and I had her out walking, and the llamas just wanted to say, you know, who is this? They were spitting at her. They were spitting at her. And they were fenced in, but they were spitting at her.
Yeah.
Sarah. I was visit Ireland long years ago. Big history, old castle, small church. I would love that. I know Sarah's going to come out investigating with us at some point. I know that. We just have to get it. I know we're out on the 7th of December. Oh my goodness, my mind. I was going to go into March. If you want to join us, Sarah, let me know. But I'll give you a wee text later.
Yeah.
The alpacas. The N17, 2 towns, curry and a tub of curry. What's this? I gave a Randy Llama video on my channel, Chris. Oh, Jesus, Iron, for crying out loud. I'm lucrative, never been spat at. Oh, Jesus. That's Iron Fire. That is Iron Fire.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they were
day 8, we're going back up to Dublin again. And they can spend the day shopping in Dublin and exploring Temple Bar and all the great places in Dublin. And this is hopefully where you'll be staying in Fitzpatrick's Castle. And then day 9 is back to the airport. But I will say at this point in time, it's only 2024. As of now, it's tentative. The likelihood is we will be able to book all these places, but just on the off chance, sometimes some of these places don't take bookings until 2025. And sometimes we might have to change a little bit, but it won't be big. So that is the general itinerary for, and there's a few surprises thrown in, and there'll be a music session or two thrown in. So I think everybody, and it's not going to be rush and stuff like that. So I think people will enjoy it. I think you get a little bit of everything. You'll get scenery, you'll get history, you'll get castles, you'll get alpacas, you'll get sheep farming, you'll get a beach, you'll get Paul, you'll get Jenny, and what more do you want?
Listen, a wee pot gin, a wee Guinness, a little leprechaun hat, and we're good to go.
And you might learn how to pull a good pint of Guinness, and you won't have to pay an arm and a leg to learn how to do it either.
I'll make sure of it. It will happen somewhere. It will happen.
Oh, Teresa in Cawley's will teach people, yeah.
Perfect. We're doing it. So if anyone who's watching tonight, Chris, Iron Fire, Lawrence, if you want to come on this fantastic tour, the link will be put up. Yeah. Paul, how do you find the itinerary? Maybe
I should take that one up, Paul, should I?
I mean, I was just going to say I absolutely love it, and I know there's such a wealth of different things. And looking at some of the other tours that May's put together, that if anything does have to change, it wouldn't be an awful lot. It'll be something amazing anyway.
Yeah. So if people are interested, I would advise anyone that might be interested, book now. Put your deposit down now. Up until 14 days after the final registration date, you can always cancel. I have a policy that the registration date is whatever date it is, I can't remember now, but you've got 14 days after that date where you can cancel. After that 14 days, you don't get your deposit back. You can cancel if you want, but you don't get your deposit back. But the earlier you book, if you want to use an installment plan, the earlier you book, the better value you get out of your installment plan. But I would advise people go to secretirelandtoursllc.com and then click on the tab for spooky tours, and then you'll see Paul's tour there. And if anyone has any problems, just contact either myself, Paul, contact me at mai@secretirelandtoursllc.com, or you can contact Paul. I don't know what your email is.
Sorry, you going to say, Jenny?
Oh, no, I will have your links and your contacts put down after this show. I will have it on my Emerald Isle page, my Shadow Whispers in the Night page of your contact details.
And I'll give you the link for that tour on We Travel as well, Jenny. I'll send it over to you.
Okay, perfect. And I can get that up in the pages as well.
But it's going to be, and we're only taking, this is another thing, we are only taking 25 people.
So we get to know each other.
Absolutely. It's not a big, massive crowd. People, that's the good thing about a small group like that. Everybody gets to know everybody else, and it really is fantastic. And for anyone, let's say anybody that wants to come but they have nobody to share with, or they're traveling on their own, I would say to them, don't worry about being on your own, because as soon as you hit Dublin Airport and you meet Jenny and Paul and you meet the rest of the people, you will not be on your own. You will be one of the gang, and you will feel like one of the gang.
As if we knew you forever. I remember when we had met at Dublin Airport, May, in October, and I had met with the Jessica and her sister, and with Alice. And then myself and Alice were sitting there talking. May was in the middle. I'm on the left and Alice is on the right. And we're talking behind May's back like this. Within 10, 15 minutes of meeting each other, we were like, May's in the middle. And we're like, yeah, I mean, could you been to Ireland before? So we were having a conversation within 10, 15 minutes. And then we were just, Yeah,
everybody just, It really is. It's great. It really is great. It's one of these great ways to get to know people. And you do end up making lifelong friends. I have friends from the very, very first tour that I did. I have people that still contact. And actually, to tell you how valuable this is, I had a birthday in June of this year, and I had a big party. There was five people from America that had been on different tours with me that came over to my birthday, and I think there was 5 or 6 from England that came over to my birthday.
Yeah. A lot of people.
It really was. It was really an honor for me that they would take their time out of their year and come over. But we had, that's it. That's the value of it, really.
It is. We had come over from Drogheda, which is only a 4-hour train.
It's a long enough journey.
But I love the west of Ireland. Is where I'm going to retire. Lawrence sounds fantastic. I'll speak to my wife. Vicky is a professional archaeologist and loves the paranormal.
Oh, she'd love it. Oh, she would love it.
Lawrence, I will put up all the links.
She'd love the Carramore tombs. She'd love Creva Keel. I mean, all of the ancient sites. You'd love it. Vicky would love it, Lawrence.
And then Lawrence is over in. Well, hopefully I'll meet you in December, Lawrence, when you're over back to Ireland. I'm laughing at Chris and Iron Fire and whatever the conversation they're having. I just do not know. I will need a little in the pub. I'm apparently going to be teaching Chris how to drink. Okay. He's going to need a wheelbarrow. Listen, my friend Chantel, all the way from South Africa, had visited her granddad in the UK, and she came over to Ireland with her granddad, and let me tell you, it was probably the first time in many years she's had a few Irish drinks. Every time the wine was gone and I walked back into my living room, no, they're not, because I have bought secret stashes and put them away. And the granddad Tim would be like, oh, he's English. Oh, there's no more wine left. And I'm like, and here what I produced earlier, bought earlier. And yeah, so they had a few here. A wheelbarrow would be more fun, Chris. Uber wheelchair. Stop it, people. Stop it. No, my luck will be a wheelie bin. I've got 2 or 3 of them. Handy if it's raining, all I need to do is shut the Chris. Give Italian now. The 2 are funny. You'll be a great teacher, Jenny. Thank you, Iron Fire. Thank you. I don't know if that's, is that a compliment? Because, I'll take it. Teach a Scotsman to drink. I know.
Maybe we should live stream that and see the results.
Yeah.
I got my new phone and I haven't used it yet.
Actually, that's an idea as well. You could pick a venue and live stream.
That'd
be a good idea.
I would like to do at the very beginning of it a live stream just to note every location that not every one of them, but the like say the castles and fabulous ones that we go to, and definitely Paul on the back of an alpaca with his cowboy hat on him.
Paul, just a quick, I don't know if you've really thought about it or not, but what do you think would be the most interesting for you?
Oh, blimey. I mean, I'm an absolute one for scenery. So I think anything on this tour, because it looks like some beautiful scenery. I don't know, obviously I'll be with the people, but just take that moment to, put away the phones for a while, and I'd love taking photographs, love taking videos, but it's actually, let's just be in the moment here. And I think that, I think this tour, because you say it's not just going straight from one thing to another thing, there will be time for people to relax. I think just we live in a world that's so fast and so busy, and just to take that step off and just truly be in a moment. So, well, I mean, it's hard. It's so many wonderful things. It's hard to choose a specific thing, but I think just to be in that moment and just be in all the locations.
I think you're right. And actually, I would agree with you there. If you're going to go away and if you're going to spend so much money on a vacation or a holiday, I think the point about putting away the phone, it's great to take a few photographs, but then just breathe in the fresh air and just take it all in and soak it all up and walk these ancient grounds and just connect with nature, connect with what you're surrounded by, and tap in, you'd never know what you'll learn about yourself, about maybe a previous life. You just you don't know. Magic things happen in Ireland.
Right, and even take your shoes and socks off and walk in the grass
Yeah.
just for like a minute or two, 5 minutes, and just like you said, Paul, put your phones away. You can take pictures afterwards, before it, but just put your phones away. That's what this tour is about, is to kind of
and when you're
Ireland.
when you're standing there and the Atlantic Ocean is beating the shores, just take a few breaths and clear out the lungs and be thankful for life, because it's special. It is, you know, the Northwest and the West Coast of Ireland. Maybe I'm biased, I don't know, but I find that there's something magically special about it.
I'm from the East, and I find the West is where I'm going to end up living.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up, I mean, I go to Mayo, and I've been to Sligo, and I've holidayed in Mayo. I've holidayed in both places, and Galway, and I always said it's my place to go to, especially, I'm not going to say between Mayo and Sligo. Mayo both has my heart. Mayo, when I holidayed in Blacksod Bay.
And you never forget that. You never forget that as a child, you know.
I remember we had a private beach, and I walked over to the beach. I left my ex-husband and my 2 children in the house, and I took my dogs with me over to the beach with a bottle of wine and a glass of wine. And someone said to me, "You have a proper wine glass on a plastic one, and you took the bottle with you?" Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. And I sat there. There's nobody around, and the house that I stayed in was an old fire station or police station's house, and it was just, and I met the local dog and became friends with the local dog. There was only one pub only, that if you walk into that pub, it's like walking into a saloon. You know, everyone just stops their pints and look around, and there's non-local people. Who are you? And then my ex-husband is a fabulous guy. He's Mauritian, so you'd have a Mauritian guy walking into the, you know, to the country hours of nowhere, and see this guy walking in. I was like, these are out of towners kind of people.
Yeah.
But you'd walk down the road and you have nothing but the Atlantic Ocean. That's the end of it. That was the end of our road. So there's no streets left and right. It's just the Atlantic Ocean. We were that close to it, in a little tiny island. And I loved it. My children didn't like it too much because there was no Wi-Fi. I loved it because there was no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I took my dogs with me. I sat on the beach. I could hear the waves and 2 fishermen kind of like trying to get the motor of a boat starting. And it was peaceful. It was quiet. It was just, and then, this is the funny part, May. Don't give in to me.
Something's coming, Paul.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We were walking on the beach, and I could see cows on the beach. It was like, cows on the beach, beautiful, love it. Took pictures of it. Then we drove up, and we went to a Gaelic speaking only part, and they were all talking to my daughter in Gaelic, and I'm like, I don't know a lot of Gaelic at all. You know, slán. And they were, and I'm looking at them like it's a different language, but yet it's my language, and I'm like jealous because they knew our mother tongue, and I was kind of jealous of it. But anyway, the part that I shouldn't have done, but I did do, we went up into the mountains of Mayo, and I'm like, isn't that lovely of these people to bag up the turf for you so you can just take it? You're not supposed to do that.
She thought that, you know, and I know somebody else.
No.
I thought that all she had to do was walk in and take the bags of turf and off to go, because it was left there for her. No.
I have pictures taking them, and there's nobody in this mountain, and you see a car driving up, and we're like waving, and he slows down, and I'm like picking up a bag of turf over my back, the boot of the car open. I'm like, and my neighbor one door up is from Mayo, and I said, I'll get you a bag of turf. I brought him home Mayo turf, and there was loose turf on the ground, and I'm like, oh my god. So I put, you know, the turf into it, and then these big white bags of turf took him home, took him back into the holiday home because, you know, we still lit the fire. And yeah, but I didn't know. I wouldn't do it now.
I mean, they're lovely people over in the Northwest and the West, Jenny, but they're not that lovely.
But thank God, you know, I mean, the turf
Have
was
you
lovely.
you ever been back and you've seen like somebody and just go, you know, and realise that?
Yeah, but I'm going to try it. I had long dark hair at the time, so I like to disguise myself every few years. I like to kind of change myself a little bit. But yeah, I didn't know that you couldn't take them. And someone said to me, Jenny, you can't take them. They're for sale. They bring them, they stack them up and sell them. And I'm like,
or they bring them home. It's their, you know, it's their turf.
well, I took them and I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, but
and you know, the funny thing about working on the bog, I mean, I didn't per se work on the bog that often, but I'd bring tea and sandwiches up to, sometimes my sons would work on the bog. It was a great summer job for them because the next door neighbor used to have them working on his bog. It's hard work.
Oh gosh, I can only imagine.
But I'd bring tea in a bottle and sandwiches to the boys. And for some unknown reason, it always tasted absolutely amazing when you drink it in the bog.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, there was just a different taste of it altogether when you would drink it in the bog.
Because it was earned.
Probably that's it. Yeah, probably that's it. Yeah,
earned and
it's tough work though. It's tough work. But
yeah,
it's just one of these. You know, it's one of these tours that, even if you weren't into anything holistic or anything, any, you know, like into hypnotherapy or into paranormal stuff, come for the scenery and come for the history and
come to see the crack in history.
Yeah, and the fun of it, and
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I know that we'll be making sure everybody's happy throughout. So if somebody seems a little quiet, we'll talk to them, make sure that they bring them out to themselves in a good, not a threatening way, but in a nice way.
Yeah, yeah. That's and I find it's going to be just yes, it's Ireland, it's my country, and I've been to some of these places, but most of them, at this one, I have not been to. So I'm even new to some of these locations that I'm looking forward to. So, I mean, the cliffs I've been to, so I can, in my mind, I know what scenery you're going to get. And it's nothing that I can even tell you until you see it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen pictures of it. I looked through old pictures last night, and there was me and my daughters taking a picture at the cliff edge. Oh, we're like 20 feet from the cliff edge, but the picture makes it look like you're on the edge. But you're not really, because I'm like, it was windy, and I'm like, no. But, you know, you have to lie on your belly and kind of like look over and so on and so on. But and I had my dogs with me, and it was just beautiful. I loved it. Trevor or Tara, I will be joining you in Italy for sure. Trevor and Tara, I worked with Trevor and Tara last week in Redwood Castle in County Tipperary, from Panoramatic, and they're moving to Italy. So I will be joining them over at some point, but I will be. Lawrence used to cut turf with his father and brothers.
Yeah. Bogwater tea is the best, really. Oh God.
Where's that?
Bogwater tea is the best, he said.
Oh.
He used to cut turf from Portlaoise.
I'll take your word. I'll take your word for that.
I think
I took 7 stones off a beach once and made front page of the newspaper with the RCMP looking for the culprit. Apparently, it's a federal offence. I took them back one by one. Really? Jesus Lord.
I wouldn't have. I never heard that, but I'll tell you, there is Queen Maeve's grave up in Knocknarea. It's not. Well, let's put it this way. You're not supposed to take a stone from the grave, but you are supposed to bring a stone up and put it on the grave. Now, there's an old superstition at home in Ireland. Jenny, you probably will be able to tell me I'm right or wrong. Any of these sites, I would always tell the people walking into any of these ancient sites, please do not remove any stones from the sites. You can't do it. Number one, it's bad luck. Number two, it's not a good thing to do.
It's not. And I remember being in Lep Castle, and Sean would have letters written to him on the wall. And one of them was from an American couple and so on, and they had taken a stone from the land. They had nothing but bad luck, and they returned the stone back in a letter back to Sean. He could leave it back. So that is very true, mate. Do not take any
absolutely. Because I would tell them all, please. It's respect for the ancient, for the people gone before us anyway.
Yeah.
But it's not good luck. As an Irish person, I would never remove anything from an ancient site.
You don't do it. No, even I don't do it. I don't, even though I go to them many times, many years, and so on. And the want is there to, but you know what? I take home with me my memories from that location, and I know, please God, I will get back into it. Again, places such as Lep Castle and Millmount, and I still wouldn't take anything home from Millmount. Actually, no, I have 2 things from Millmount, but they were given to me.
Yeah, well, that's a different kettle of fish.
They were given to me.
I'm reading here. The only time I fell in the bog, I fell in a hole full of water and found earthworms in my underwear that evening. Oh my God.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God.
Really, Tara, I was feeling a little better, but now I feel a little bit more sick.
Wow.
That's a lot to process. I'm processing in my brain.
No, I don't think I'd like that. No.
I think you'd have to shower just for about 3 days, and to feel clean.
But the funny thing is about the bog, though, Paul, I don't know whether you know this or not. There's bogs in Mayo, and they found bodies in a bog, perfectly preserved, 5,000-year-old bodies.
Yes, I have heard of that.
And then around that same area, they found pounds of butter that were perfect, but I think they were
preserved by salt.
Hundreds and hundreds of years old. The bog preserved them. And of course, the fact that they had salt in them as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it, really?
I need to have some more salt to be preserved.
So if anybody had fallen down a bog hole and got stuck, you might have been preserved. And in 1,000 years' time, somebody might find you. You might be perfectly preserved.
Well, now that saves me a lot of money on Botox, because I'll just go to the bogs. I won't be taking your turf. I'll be taking whatever they have in that ground, in that land, to preserve your body. I'm going to bathe in it.
Yeah. Do you have bogs in England, Paul?
There are, but it's not the tradition that Ireland has. I mean, I had an Irish teacher, and he was really talking about how wonderful turf fires were. You almost get slightly misty-eyed talking about it, and just say it was fantastic. You didn't need a chimney sweep. You just put your head up the chimney, one good sneeze, and it's all puffed out the top.
Yeah. And it depends on how good the turf is as well. I mean, good turf is as good as coal.
Is that not now what I heard, I think last year or the year before, that it's now illegal to burn turf?
They were trying to make it, it could be changed again, but at one stage they tried to bring in a law to stop the farmers from selling it. You see, nearly every farmer has his own bog associated with his farm, and they can cut the turf, they can save the turf. But they were trying to make it illegal to sell turf. They stopped the peat briquettes from being sold, but then again they imported the bloody stuff from Latvia. So make that make sense. I don't know. They're talking about this climate change. Sorry, crap. I'm going to say it straight out. Right. And they stop the Irish farmer, who's a lot of them are struggling, selling their turf, and then they bring in stuff from Latvia. Does any of it make sense?
I'm just going to say, Jesus, take the wheel in this one and gag my mouth, please.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not alone. It was always an old tradition. We always had the open fire. We always had the storytelling around the open fire. We always had the music around the open fire.
Yeah.
It was an Irish thing. And
Well, now I should hope not. Sorry, that I'm going to for you, Jenny. They are so smart of this election. I have no idea what's happening as of yet. I have no idea. There was an update earlier, and I don't know if it's fact or false, but it wasn't looking great. I will tell you that now. I think donkeys are repeating their votes. And Paul, we had an election here yesterday in Ireland for the government, and I think it's still staying as it was, because I think the same. I do now. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and do not come for me, anyone who's older than me. Do not come for me. I think there's a certain point where older people should not be voting. May, do not kill me. I'm sorry. May, do not kill me.
Say that again. Older people should not be voting.
No. Oh gosh, she's going to text me. I shouldn't give it to me. No, no. What I'm trying to say is no. Let me explain what I'm saying. Oh God, I can see her killing me. No, what I'm saying is people in their 80s should not be voting, because you're done. God forgive me for saying that. I'm going to get a lot of my phone is.
Oh, you're going to get a lot.
Listen, I'm saying what I'm saying. I think the country is for the younger people. Sorry, people, if you don't agree with me, I'm sorry. I'm saying what I'm saying. I think the country, like my daughters are 14 and 21, they have to live with the older generation's votes. And I don't want that for my children. So I know, oh God, no, why is everyone quiet?
I just think it's the best thing to do. Is I'm completely non-political.
Oh shit, sorry. I'm just saying that if you're in your 80s, 70s or 80s.
Well, personally, I would rather, be honest with you, I would rather go with the wisdom of an old person than the wisdom of some of these young people that don't know their parents.
You know what? I stand corrected.
Sorry, guys.
No, I stand corrected. That is very true. That is very true. But I think the older people, sometimes they're not going to change what they know already and have the shower still running the country, where they are ruining us. They are literally ruining us. And I'm not going to continue on what I think, what I was going to say, but I'm not. They are ruining us. Oh, the Lord Jesus, let me mute myself.
But I don't see any of the Irish. I don't see any of the Irish people. None of the people that are running the country now are old people.
No, they're not. They're not.
We're not doing a great job of it. Sorry, guys.
Listen, I know, and Michael D. Higgins is about to finish as well, which we love him. He's the president of Ireland, and so didn't think he would ever stop, but he is. I know Paul will completely onto something different here. But we changed subjects very quickly. Mm-hmm. But I do think, and I don't mean to offend anyone by saying what I said. I just want a better country for my children who are not in their 70s or 80s. I'm going to get a lot of like.
No.
I don't mean it like that.
People that are running the country are not in their 70s or 80s. They're only in their 50s.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. Oh, May, I'm going to get a text off you.
Let's have a look, see what the mobile phone says.
Yeah, but one way or another, Paula, we're going to have a good tour.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And we won't. Oh, I don't allow politics on the tour anyway.
No.
Politics or religion is not. It's not a talking point that's kind of encouraged or allowed on the tour, because sometimes it can get really heated, Well,
yeah,
especially if you're American,
I remember being on a spiritual retreat, and it got political and it got
really?
quite warm. Yeah, and I was thinking, just we're all going sort of quiet and sort of eating the porridge then at that point. So yeah, I tend to just sort of keep my mouth quiet.
Oh yeah, you're better.
Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't talk about what I think. Kind of say exactly what I think. Then I don't, like I said, I don't mean to, but I'm saying what I'm saying, and yeah, it's I want it to be a better Ireland for my children, and if somebody is used to what they know and God, I'm going to say it and don't have long left. You're leaving this country to my children because you think of X, Y, Z as the bee's knees, and they're not. Okay, I'll shut my mouth now. Let's change the subject. Thank you.
All right.
May, all right. So that is it, folks. That is it. Anything you want to add, Mr. Goddard?
Just that I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be amazing spending time with yourself and the other wonderful people that are going to be on it. And it's been such a long time since I've been to Ireland. It'd be wonderful to go back. And if anybody wishes to ask me any questions, because it's not just the past life regressions that I've got very well known for, but hypnosis, NLP, personal development, or just my experience of paranormal, just want to chat about random things, for me, I'm like the king of just random small talk. So if somebody just wants to have some random small talk with me, that's brilliant too. I'm just really looking forward to the whole experience.
Yeah, because there'll be so much. I mean, as you said, Paul, there's so much that can be done, or so many different experiences and interests in the whole thing. Even the alpacas, for God's sake.
And it's nice, so hopefully the weather will be nice. If it's not nice, you'll get your good days, you'll get your bad days. It's Ireland,
Yeah, even though it's July, so hopefully it should be. But then again, as Jenny said, you just can in Ireland, you just can never tell.
We went to Hellfire Club, and it was misty rain, and it was dark, and it was grey, and it was foggy,
but it kind of it kind of
set the scene for Hellfire.
It did actually. It actually was good, and for the rest of that day, it was good. And I remember when we were on Pat Noon's farm, it rained slightly. It was kind of drizzly, and then it rained heavier when we were going to Galway.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a parade, the Halloween parade in Galway that night, and of course, me organising the whole thing, I was worried sick. I thought, oh my God, even though it was October, I had told them what to wear. I had given all the, once people start booking this tour, after we have a certain amount of people, I will start emailing people. I'll advise them what to pack, what to bring. If there's people from America, I'll explain to them about adapters for their laptop and their phone, and I go through the whole works. Anything that needs to be known, I will send them emails on it. Now, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
Pen and paper, May, pen and paper.
Pen and paper, yeah. But anyhow, people, we'll be talking about what to pack. I have a video of how to pack so that you're not bringing big, massive cases with you. And because there's really no need, and we can organize in the middle of it, we can organize that you can get your laundry picked up in the hotel and it can be brought up. And if you want that done, that can be organized. So you don't really have to pack for any more than five days. So you don't really need a big case either. But I will be explaining all of that in emails as well.
I don't know if it's like, I was just going to say, if anybody from elsewhere in the world comes along to this, I know a lot of British people will say, "Oh, it's always cold in the UK," but it's not. It'd be quite nice in summer. Because I remember somebody that I was talking to, where were they from now? Japan. A couple from Japan came over to England and heard people over here saying how cold it is, and it's always cold. They came in the middle of the summer and packed for a fortnight winter clothes, thick coats, big sort of thick woolly jumpers and things, because they listened to. So it's not like that, which I found quite funny. But I've been guilty of that, saying, "Oh, it's always cold."
Well, what I usually do, Paul, is I usually look at the weather forecast 2 or 3 weeks out, and you have a general idea then.
Yeah, you do. And that's the only thing that cannot be controlled is the weather. So dress for either.
Yeah, layers. I always say layers, and a light waterproof coat or jacket, and just waterproof shoes, comfortable shoes.
The rest we look after. The rest
everything will be fine.
We look after. The weather we cannot. But if it rains and you're on a cliff and you're looking over the Atlantic Sea, sit down and just take the rain in and take the view. That's it. It's beautiful. Exactly. I've been there. It's beautiful. I'll be on the boat with a car, so if you need extra duty free, pack. That's it. Pack the seasons in one day. Well, that is very true. Pack for 4 seasons in one day. But it is, you know, it is what it is. We can have a great summer. We might have a great summer. Listen, we never, people say, you know, they check their phones for the weather forecast, just open up the curtains and look out. And then, you know, if you go out with flip-flops, bring an umbrella with you. You might.
And you know something, the way I look at it is everybody deserves to give themselves something nice to look forward to.
Yeah, totally.
I can guarantee you guys, life is short. And I tell you something for nothing, and I know it for a fact. You cannot bring money with you.
Yeah.
It just, you know. So while you have it, use it, enjoy it, have something to remember. And when you're an old person, you can sit with your grandkids and you can talk to them about the time you went to Ireland with Paul Goddard and Jenny Sullivan, and we walked on this magnificent golden beach in Ross's Point, and Paul did his thing, and you know, memories can't be bought.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely not. I just have this image in my head. I'm sorry, Paul. I'm very sorry of you and an alpaca with your cowboy hat.
It might be one of my trilbies or something like that.
That'll be on. Right. Anything we want to add there before we leave? Paul, I will have your links up on the page the minute we come off here. May, I will do the same for you as well. You or anyone who has any questions or inquiries, obviously go to May and Paul, and they will answer for you. I am just there to look pretty.
And Jenny, thank you so much for having us on. It was really great of you to do this for the tour.
Absolutely. We'll do another show before the trip happens. We'll do another show on it just to update everyone and how it's going and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So yes, we can definitely do that before it. But right now, we are going to say goodnight. I'm a one-woman show. I have to look over these and look and do these things here on the right-hand side. I'm working here in the background. But yes, thank you so much, Paul, for taking time out to be on the show with us tonight.
Oh, I've loved every moment of it.
Oh, thank you so much. Hope you're looking forward to coming over to Ireland. And
absolutely.
And thanks to everybody who chimed in as well. And
yes, absolutely, and give us your experiences as well, and so on. And I we will be back on again. And please do not email me afterwards, with my comment that I had made earlier.
If anybody does, it wasn't me that said it.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of, when your thoughts come out of your mouth and you just say, Jenny, I thought your filter was working. It kind of broke for about 10 minutes there. It kind of broke for about 10 minutes. Don't come for me. Don't come for me.
You're very welcome, Lawrence.
Looking forward to seeing you, and hopefully now in December, Lawrence. Tomorrow is December. Can you believe it already?
Mm-hmm.
But as we say, long story short, May, do you want to take us out with a little bit of Gaelic?
Now,
Paul, what did she say?
Good night. Thank you for being with us.
Exactly.
Yay!
Good man. Yeah. You didn't think, Jenny, that he'd know what I was saying. That was a pure fluke guess.
I was that's a fluke. Slongafol, slán leat.
Slongafol, got the next slongafol.
There's all the Irish there now. Gosh, we'll have a shamrock tattooed before you go home, Paul. Right, we're going to say goodnight again. Okay, this is the Irish goodbye. Rightio, good night, Slán, and May and Paul. A million thanks for being here tonight with me. It's a fantastic show, which always looking forward to the tour next year. The links I will have up in the next 10-15 minutes. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bring us into the background. Bring us in the background.